everyone, and happy Paddy's Day, albeit a very, very different one this year. Well, I'm still going to go out and celebrate, but on the Royal Enfield, because the pubs are shut. So if you fancy coming along for a different type of Paddy's Day, well then hop on the back and we'll see where the road takes us. Like I say, happy St. Patrick's Day. Before we delve into a little bit of crack about St. Patrick, you might notice something straight off which I have on the Royal Enfield here. And it's the Michelin tyre pressure gauge, very kindly recommended by one of my subscribers, and I didn't even know there was such a thing. I've had a bit of a problem with a leaky valve. Imagine having a leaky valve, especially when you're on board a motorbike, on my rear tyre. And I've mentioned this on a previous vlog as well. So somebody very kindly mentioned in the comments that, did you know you could get something on Amazon called a Michelin tyre pressure indicator? And it's absolutely superb, and I've double checked it, triple checked it actually, with different inflators just to make sure that the reading is correct. And indeed, I've been riding for a few minutes now, and the tyre pressure, as is normal, has gone up by 1 psi on the front and 1 psi on the rear, because that's what happens when the tyres get warmer. So I do know that it's taken an active reading, so that's good. Like I say, I can't get the leaky valve fixed because I can't get down to Dublin on the motorbike, and there's nowhere up here which will do that for me, because I'm in the sticks, if you can't tell already by all my previous lockdown spins where I have to stay within 5 kilometers. Well, we're still within that. Not a bad way to see the colour green on St. Patrick's Day, is it? The daffodils and all the bulbs I've noticed are a bit late this year, but they've normally been and gone by now, but they're only starting to come up. Some would say that means because we're going to have a longer summer. Talking of folklore on St. Patrick's Day, what a better day to do it. There's something I ride past and indeed drive past in my car a lot on Ireland. I always wondered what they were because I never really knew about them until I moved here. Something called a fairy fort. Don't know if you've heard of them. Here's a few pictures of one I just passed recently and thought I'd take the drone up to film it. I hope you enjoyed that footage. If you noticed, I didn't actually fly over the top or directly over the top. I stayed to the side, and that's another ancient folklore thing in Ireland, where you're not supposed to disturb fairy forts in either way, otherwise bad luck will be bestowed upon you. You're not allowed to drive through them or walk through them, I think, even as well. So if I am flying the drone above them, I try and stay to the side and not directly above. You have to respect them because of this little tale I'm about to tell you now. So back in 2011, I believe it was, a chap by the name of Quinn, who was Ireland's first billionaire, was involved in a motorway project, which meant tunnelling all the way through something called the Hill of Tara. There was petition after petition to stop him doing this, but anyway, he ploughed on, literally. And very shortly afterwards, after he disturbed the fairy forts, his health rapidly deteriorated, and on top of that, he lost his whole business empire. And many would say that's because he interfered with the fairy forts of Ireland, hence all the bad luck which came tumbling down on top of him within a year or two after doing that. The roads are in bad state of repair here. Narrowly missed that long line of potholes. That could have had me off, to be honest. Anyway, I'm not going to go into the history of the potholes. Today is Paddy's Day. It's all about the history of St. Patrick. Did you know, first fact coming up, he wasn't Irish, he was Welsh. I hear you gasp. And he was captured and brought over to Ireland as a slave in the 5th century. He then escaped and returned to Ireland, I believe, in 463 AD. And when he returned, he brought Christianity with him. That's where it all started in Ireland. He's a lot to answer for. Always a joy to be out on these twisties up where I live. This is a great little bike to do it on as well. Tyres aren't great, but hey, it's a cheap motorcycle for what it is. There's a lot of bike for the price. But yeah, I just wouldn't be leaning the bike over too far. Tyres are still fairly new, actually. I haven't even had this bike's run-in service yet. It's 377 mile on the clock. So when it's got 500 mile on, I'll be taking it down to Dublin, and that's probably when I'll get my leaky valve sorted as well. Get 2 jobs done, all in the one trip. But nevertheless, I absolutely love this bike. I think I've mentioned it's been staying inside the house over the winter. So every morning I come downstairs, it's there to greet me. Never fails to make me smile. And that's before I even get on it and ride it. I have noticed a few spins that I've done on it over the winter months that the exhaust note is getting really nice and raspberry. Did I say raspberry there? I meant raspy. It's obviously loosening up. The whole engine is, because the throttle's a lot more responsive as well. Mind you, you never know, these things could be mind over matter. It could also be because your confidence builds when you ride a bike a few times. I think I've had less than 10 trips out on this beauty, which is a sin really. But I did overcome a huge hurdle over the Christmas months there. My wife actually admitted that whilst the bike was in the house, she actually said, "It looks like a piece of furniture." And that to me was just, right, okay, the bike has been accepted. My addiction has been totally welcomed into the house. So she's in trouble now, because I've got a few plans over the next few months. What a gorgeous day! Just take a look at some of the shots I did with my drone this time last year. The streets were deserted alright in Dublin, but I was still allowed into Dublin to take these shots. Quite eerie that, isn't it? Hard to believe. Well, it's still the same today. Where not last year but the year before, and every year previous to that, there would have been huge celebrations in the streets of Dublin. You wouldn't be able to get moved. I would always be working on that festival, really, filming it for TV. And indeed, every single pub in the land will be absolutely chocker, absolutely fantastic crack in Ireland on Paddy's Day. And indeed around the world. The Americans, of course, have embraced it hugely. Actually, that's one thing I'd love to do. I'd love to go and see how the Americans celebrate St. Patrick's Day. When I used to live in England, we celebrated it as well, massively. Well, more so when I got myself an Irish girlfriend. Good few people out in the cars. That's because they can't be in the pub. So there you go, everyone. I hope you learnt something new about St. Patrick. And I hope you learnt a thing or two about fairy forts on this beautiful, albeit very, very different St. Patrick's Day 2021. So as they say here in Ireland, sláinte. Another saying I love is Go Nairi an Bohalat, which is may the road rise up to meet you. It's a good luck saying. So for now, I'm Dave Perry for Wheelie Good TV. Over and out. Cheers. See, you don't have to go to the pub to enjoy yourself. Now, I'm bloody thirsty.